Well, this week, thousands of children have begun returning to schools right across the country. For some, their school will be getting extra funding and support under a new multi-million-euro government initiative to support the most disadvantaged children. But there's disappointment and frustration among the schools that have been left out of the Deis Plus scheme, with some principals suggesting the selection process hasn't been fair. We'll speak to the Minister for Education shortly, but first our policy and analysis correspondent Louise Byrne reports.
It's the first day of school at St Michael's Infant School in Limerick City. There's smiles and there's hugs for the school's newest students. St Michael's is in what's called Deis Band 1, which means it gets extra supports to tackle educational disadvantage.
How are you, Betty? Great. How are you?
But for Principal Tracy Tobin, today's tinged with disappointment. St Michael's, unlike 9 other Limerick City schools, has been left out of the new higher Deis status, Deis Plus, and the extra staff and training that it could have brought.
End of July, we got the letter to say we weren't successful. And I'm not afraid to say I did cry that day. I was genuinely devastated.
Ms Tobin says the paper exercise the department undertook to decide who was included in the new scheme didn't capture the need in her school, which serves a diverse and challenged population in Limerick's inner city. And she's not the only principal frustrated. The issue that some schools are taking with the Deis designation is that it's really difficult to compare disadvantage across schools, across areas, and particularly with city centres, like here in Limerick, the data can be skewed by the range of incomes and backgrounds of the people living there. In part, it's said to counter that gentrification, the department came up with its own index to calculate need. It gives more weight to unemployment and lone parenthood. Roma and traveller backgrounds and those living in emergency accommodation were also priority indicators. But local complexities are hard to capture.
How do they know what's going on in families from a PPS number or from an address? I feel, it's very clinical. The contextual piece is missing. The stories we could tell. And obviously, we know our families better than anybody. And we never got an opportunity to tell our stories as to why we believe our children and our families deserve more opportunities, which would come with Deis Plus.
Ms Tobin points out that for other types of educational funding, local nuances can be included in an application, but not in this scheme. A substantial number of schools, 123, appealed their exclusion from the scheme, but just 8 were successful. In total, 129 schools have now received Deis Plus designation. Assistant Professor at Trinity College, Barra Rowntree, has previously done socioeconomic research in Dublin's southwest inner city. When some of its schools were excluded, he went looking for answers.
This really has pockets of deprivation that are as bad as anywhere else in the inner city. And less than half of the schools that are already in the Deis programme got Deis Plus. And that was quite surprising, I think, to teachers and pupils and parents who go to that school. And particularly when you contrast that with some other parts of the city. So 15 out of 15 schools in the northeast inner city got Deis Plus. And that really is kind of hard to explain.
In another part of the country, more confusion. Drogheda is the largest town in Ireland, but none of the schools here have been designated Deis Plus. The decision has left principals here in Drogheda baffled. If you look at the Pobal Deprivation Index, which is based off census data, there's only a handful of areas in Drogheda deemed affluent. Many, many more are categorised as disadvantaged, very disadvantaged, or like some parts here in Rathmullen, extremely disadvantaged. St Paul's is the local senior national school. outside the safety and support of school is a community with high-profile struggles.
The Minister only needs to come down here and look at where we are situated. We are not asking for something that isn't obvious. There is a real need in this community to receive these benefits. And if we look out the back of our school, you can see that that is the house where Cian Mulready Woods was murdered. And if we look out the front, we were here one day and we were watching them dig for the body of poor Kyron Durnan. And that is what our children, they walk to school passing these houses. They know that children can be murdered in their community.
When she first heard about Deis Plus, Principal Anya Carthy assumed they'd be included.
Everybody was saying you've nothing to worry about, of course you're going to get it, because look at the level of disadvantage. I had been emailing just to remind them that we are here, that not to forget us, because sometimes Drogheda does tend to be the forgotten town. But the day that we got the news, I was devastated. I feel really failed.
Ms Carthy said parents often don't formally tell a school about their ethnic background, and added criminality and trauma are also missing from the Deis Plus analysis.
They're not taken into account children being groomed for crime, the impact of drugs, the intergenerational trauma. They don't seem to be taking any of this into account. And we see the daily impact of all of these things in the school.
What sort of difference could Deis Plus make in a school like this?
You were going to get a wellbeing coordinator. I already had so many plans to what we were going to do with that role and how we could further help the children.
Schools haven't been given a score or an indication of how close they were to inclusion on the scheme. Those in Drogheda are particularly puzzled, as there are 7 Deis Plus schools in Dundalk. The department said it recognised that some schools are operating in the context of complex local pressures that can't be currently fully reflected in the Deis Plus model. It's looking at ways it could be changed in future, but noted it uses data that is available nationally and consistently across schools. For the schools that have received Deis Plus, it's a big help. They're getting a non-teaching deputy principal and a dedicated wellbeing teacher. Barra Rowntree says the methodology needs to be more transparent.
We don't know fully what has gone into this index. It's been rated, you can't replicate it. And what we don't know are the schools who have lost out, and we don't know if that is justified or not. We've just been told to essentially take it for granted that the statistical methodology that's been used is adequate, and that's a very hard thing to be sure of.
The Department of Education told Primetime it does intend to publish more details of its selection process in the coming weeks. Once published, the methodology will be transparent and replicable, it said. For now, schools excluded have been told the decision is final.
As a teacher, the most important trait that you have is to be fair when it comes to children. The children that size, they know. If you're not fair, they will call you out on it. You know, we understand fairness. And do I think this is a fair process? No. I absolutely don't think it's a fair process.
Our policy and analysis correspondent Louise Byrne reporting there. Well, shortly before coming on air, I spoke to Hildegard Naughton, the Minister for Education, and I put it to her that Tracy Tobin, the principal of St Michael's, does not believe it's fair the way schools have been chosen for this new scheme.
First of all, I want to thank you for inviting me on here this evening. And just to say, I hear the frustration from those principals that you featured on the programme tonight. In relation to Deis, just to set it in context, we have 1,200 schools across the country who are accessing Deis supports. That's 260,000 young people and children across the country as well. We have I recently launched this year a new Deis Plus programme, and that will be for more targeted supports for a smaller cohort of schools that need those extra supports for those students who have particular challenges within their own lives before they ever come
Minister,
through the
we
school
know
gates.
that. I suppose what we're wondering now is why some schools, like for instance, Drogheda gets none, Dundalk beside it gets 7. How is that possible?
So what I have to do and ensure that we have a model that is consistent and it's evidence-based right across the country and that it is fair. And it's based on data that we get from the HP Deprivation Index, but also through the database, through data coming from our schools. There was an appeals process that schools went through if they felt that they should have been included in this scheme. And many of the schools or all of the schools, in fact, who were successful in the appeals process provided extra information which ensured or enabled them to be part of the Deis Plus programme. Okay. But I want to say that I absolutely acknowledge that there are schools out there that are not in Deis that have a disadvantage.
Okay, let me come back in there for a moment, Minister. For instance, St. Paul's we saw there in Louise's report, right beside an area that's extremely disadvantaged in the Pobble Index. How do you explain that doesn't get Deis Plus?
So, as I said, that this model is based on official data, administrative data that we have to ensure that is applied consistently. And what I have asked my officials to do is that to make sure that we are getting even more information from schools through government departments. I've tasked my department to work with other government agencies for example, the Department of Justice. Information, data that they may have that will help us in relation to further improving the information that we have when we are trying to determine those areas that are in most need of supports in relation to children and young
Minister,
people
we heard there
supports.
from Louise, she read out, a statement, part of it from your department, and they're basically accepting that you need to relook at this selection process. That in itself is telling, isn't it, that this is wrong?
Well, if you look at back in 2006 when the Deis programme started, it was based on self-declaration where schools themselves would say that they were a school with educational disadvantage. And I think we can all appreciate that that is not a fair system. We have to have a model that I can apply to the 4,000 schools across the country, because one school's perspective in relation to disadvantage may be very different to another, or one school may be just better at, making the case in relation to accessing extra supports. So it has to be a fair and consistent model where the
and
data...
on that, Minister, sorry for cutting across you. I mean, it needs to be fair, as you say, but the teachers we heard there in Louise's report, they don't feel it's fair. For instance, they don't know what criteria they didn't meet. They don't know what score they got. Surely that system is seriously flawed.
Well, the department has published the model on our website. I've also asked them to, and they will be publishing further information around the methodology. So it is very transparent. And can I just say the OECD back in 2024 acknowledged and recognised the fairness in relation to our Deis programme. But I want to do more in relation to this. And I am absolutely determined, and I absolutely acknowledge that there is educational disadvantage in our schools. And that's why I introduced a pilot. When I came into this department at the end of last year, there was no scheme in place or pilot in place where schools who are not in the Deis programme, just to finish this point, Miriam, could have access to a homeschool liaison coordinator. So that is now in place in 130 schools where they have access to a person who will help children, work with children and their families to make sure that they can stay in school, they can feel supported, their families, and get access to other supports within the community. So that is this is just the start, and it's very, and I know the frustration that is out there, but this is the start of a 10-year Deis strategy. The Deis Plus programme is only going to commence in September. We will be reviewing it, monitoring it. I will be ensuring that my department, working with other government departments and the Central Statistics Office, are getting access to even more data, granular data, so that we can ensure that we're getting the best information possible.
OK, Minister, but I suppose schools have been told it's final. Are you saying there is a chance for them to go back?
Well, the appeals process has happened. It was independently reviewed, and I have to make sure that I'm applying a model that is consistent. What I am saying, though, is that we are continually going to be improving the information that the department has access to. And I can only work with the official data that I have through the CSO, through the HP deprivation index, through the information that schools provide. But I am not happy in relation to, I suppose, the level of data, although it is much improved and it is the best data that the department has to date. But I will be continue to review this scheme. We have already said that there will be annual reviews of it, but there is also a lot of supports out there already. And I want to move to a situation, Miriam, where we're not talking about DESH schools, where schools will just get the supports they need and it will be targeted and tailored to the individual needs of that particular area.
We appreciate you taking the time, Minister, to talk to us tonight on Prime Time. Thank you. Fran.